Hello, welcome. I'm Barry Traish. This is 100 tips on how to do better retrospectives for the DWP and CrossGov Delivery Practice Knowledge Blitz. Whether you're new to this or an old hand, there'll be something in it for everybody. First up, if you're not an agile person who does this, this is the easiest technique from the agile pantheon to bring in, and it will add value whatever you are doing. Are you a retro virgin? There's loads of online help. Just go and Google Agile Retrospectives, Introduction or Tutorial, something like that. There's something for everyone, absolutely tons, so do not be afraid. Nothing else, use the old start, stop, continue. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It will get you going. I mean, there's lots of others, what went well, what didn't go well, mad, sad, glad, live, love, laugh, you name it. But a better way to start is to have a structure for whatever you do. The 5-stage model, Esther Darby's model, she's the expert. We'll go through each of these stages. This will give you a really good retro. First off, set the stage. You need to get people out from thinking about doing the work to thinking about how they do the work and how they can improve the teamwork, and get them in the mood for participating. Second stage, data. Bring data. It helps make sure everyone's on the same page as to what actually happened. It expands people's view from just their personal experience to what the whole team experienced, and it focuses you on really what happened. Then analyze it. See what you can find out from that data. Use the old 5 whys, fishbone diagram, that sort of thing. Then actions. Decide what you're going to do out of that. Actions, and close the retro. It's a chance to reflect, think about any rules you've set in place about confidentiality maybe, and celebrate. Have a good time. The advantages of retros, they add value where there's still chance to change things, unlike doing a lessons learned from traditional project management right at the end where it's too late to change anything. You have to explain that to your team to get their buy-in. Why are you doing this? We're doing this to be better. And you should focus, needs to be on cultural change, not just on process change, getting them in a growth mindset to want to innovate, to change, to improve all the time. You might think you can just turn up and do it. We'll go through so many things in the next 10 minutes that you will see there's a lot to plan. Allocate time for planning it. Nuts and bolts, who's going to come along to your retro? Let the team decide. It's up to them who they're comfortable. But make sure that you set the expectations of their attendance. Whoever says they're coming needs to attend. People will try and get out of it. Make sure you get the value. And you can do that by having a regular rhythm, a cadence. So everyone knows when it is, same time every fortnight or month or whatever that cadence is. But don't do it when they're tired, because no one's going to look forward to it then, are they? They're going to dread it, and you're not going to get the best out of them. There'll always be a temptation to postpone it because of work pressures. Try and avoid that. But if it does go wrong, just restart. Restart your retros and get back in that rhythm. You also need to, whatever time box you've set, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, keep within it. Otherwise it just drags on and it's pointless and everyone will dread it and won't turn up again. Plan it. But we're going to talk about different ways of planning it, like that 5 stages model. But if you're getting value out of something, it's more important to follow the value than it is to follow the plan. That's a classic agile one, isn't it? Don't rush it. If you need to get to the bottom of something, you're going to need to take your time to get to the bottom of it. Those 5 whys can really take time as to what's underlying. Change it up. Get out of the office. Go to a different room. Go to a different building, a different location. It will open up fresh perspectives. Help shift that mindset. Go visual. Do things visually so that people can see the relationships with stuff. We use visual techniques all the time. It's really great in a retro. And there's lots of physical tools, online tools that can help, whether it's a whiteboard or whether it's a specialized retro tool or whether it's just some post-it notes. You are going to have to use your facilitation skills. Focus on those. One of the most important skills for delivery people, facilitation. How are we going to do that? Well, if you're trying to participate and facilitate at the same time, you're going to be conflicted. It rarely works well. Decide if you're doing one or the other. And if you're facilitating, try and stay out of the contribution. But if you want to contribute, get a guest facilitator. Or it's nice just to change it up. Maybe they'll bring a fresh perspective, a new way of looking at things. The team will identify problems it didn't even realise it had. When you're facilitating, focus on getting people to participate, how they're reacting emotionally, and most importantly, getting value out of everything. Groupthink is a real danger in retros. One person will say something and then that kind of dominates the conversation and everyone goes along with it. But you're trying to get to the bottom of things. How do you do that? Well, you have to make space for the people who are quieter. It's a classic in any team. You can do that. There's lots of tips and techniques for doing that. One way, at the beginning of the retro, have a check-in. Give people permission to speak. Oh, what one word, how you think the last month has gone, or who's your favorite member of the team or something work related is best, but get everybody speaking, something really easy and simple. Again, people who don't want to speak, silent techniques like 1 2 4 rule can help bring out the people who don't want to launch into conversation, and again they also help with that dreaded groupthink. But if you've got people who are dominating the conversation, re-educate them, talk to them separately about how maybe their constant talking and chattering are suppressing the views of other people. And then they probably don't even realise. You can split into subgroups in retros. They can focus on more specific things. I never find that's a good idea. I've seen it done. You want the whole team to be discussing and contributing because you never know who's got the solution to something. One of my favourite facilitation techniques, liberating structures. They've got 30 techniques. You can go on their website or read their book, or there's even an app. There's lots in there recommended liberating structures. You're going to get cultural differences. Our teams are often lots of different people from lots of different backgrounds. Understand them, take them into account. It might be how they raise issues or how they want to contribute. Or even things, don't hold your retro in a pub if you've got people who, religious reasons, don't drink. For a change, hold them standing up. It's a different perspective. And use physical movement. Get someone over to the left-hand side of the room if you think this, over to the right-hand side of the room if you think that. Again, you're changing it up. You're breaking down some of the barriers to rigid thinking, which is what you're trying to do, because it's all about change and improvement. And classic, I always do this, feign ignorance. I don't understand that, explain it to me. And this is a technique engineers call rubber ducking. Explain a problem to someone, a rubber duck, and often the act of explaining the problem will bring about the solution. And they go, oh yeah, I understand now. Ideation, one of the most important things when we're trying to get new ideas, the old post-it notes often. When you're asking people to put post-it notes up, or virtually, ensure that your ask is clear. What is it? When someone says, I don't know, mad, sad, glad, do people really understand what those are? That is a really common thing I see go wrong in retros. And good post-it notes. Good post-it note discipline. If you write the word, I don't know, releases, that's really vague, isn't it? What about releases? But if you write an essay, no one's going to read an essay either. And if you write it in pencil, it's going to be undecipherable. Educate people on how to do good post-its that can have impact. And then affinity sort them. Someone said they didn't know what affinity sorting was to me recently, a delivery person. It's just bringing together common ideas where 7 people have all said the same thing. Group them as one, treat them as one. Dot voting, I'm a bit mixed on dot voting because it can encourage groupthink. It's a great way of getting people to vote on what's most important. It's really simple, but often my tip is get people to decide unconsciously first, before they vote, how they're going to vote. And that can also help avoid tactical voting, people who vote at the last minute trying to sway position a different way. Democracy, dot voting isn't always right. Sometimes it's you need the expert's voice, not the mass voice. And don't think about who raised an issue. Think about the value of the issue itself. Powerful coaching questions. What if type questions. What's the future type questions. If you're not familiar with those, that Parable site there has got a great load of 50 brilliant coaching questions, retro questions. Psychological safety, halfway. Oh no, we're at 10 minutes almost already. I'm slow. Psychological safety, enormous. You have to be thinking about this all the time to get the best out of people. How are you going to do that? One way is using the retrospective prime directive. Read it out. It's a little bit cheesy, but it reinforces the point if you do it every time, that primarily blame isn't where we're at. There's no point blaming people. It's usually the fault of the system, not the individual. People try and do everything as much as they can. And again, when an issue arises, don't associate it with a person. It's the team responsibility to deliver stuff. You can encourage psychological safety by demonstrating vulnerability yourself. And you can set confidentiality rules about nothing leaves the room, that sort of thing. Get the team to agree what they want to say. Cameras on is better if you're online. You can't build relationships if you can't see people. Obviously, don't push it. Don't too far. If people really don't want to do it, don't do it. And keep all those busybodies out who want to observe everything and just spy on you and see. Your psychological safety needs some privacy. Deal with good conflict. It's great to have conflict if it's constructive and helpful, and make it fun. No one wants to dread coming to a retro, so try and have some enjoyable elements in there. A kudos board is one of the most enjoyable elements. People really love that. Who are you going to thank? Everyone writes down a note. I'd like to thank so-and-so for their contribution and helping me, and share that amongst the team. Share that and people outside the team. There's no point just venting frustration. It's a useful function of retros, but you need to actually make change if you want to improve things. So you can also focus on a particular problem. Maybe, we've got a problem with releases. We're going to just have a retro on that and nothing else. Real deep dive. Don't be afraid to do that. And bring that data. My data beats your opinion every time. We thought this, but actually that. And sometimes those recent artifacts, maybe you've got some charts or plans or something about what's been going on, that'll get everyone focused. Do not be afraid to tackle difficult topics in your retros either. That's what they're there for. This is the time to have the really awkward conversations, to resolve that conflict between people. What's really going on? Why can't they work together? How are you going to get a positive result out of that? Often we see the problem and we treat the symptom. You need to deep dive those fish bones, those 5 whys. It's going to take time. Don't jump to conclusions. It's easy. That's why I said don't rush at the beginning. This is about getting to the bottom of things. And avoid getting sidetracked. You want to do what's most valuable. It's easy to spend all your time on one thing. It's the most valuable thing that's important. Also, some things are in your control and some aren't. Maybe even have separate sections when people are ideating about what's going on. They can go, this was a problem, it's out of our control. This was a problem, it's up to the team to fix it. And maybe in discussion, you might move things between those sections. Generate experiments, try things out. Have that innovation culture. And when you try things out, if they work, you get more buy-in for more change. But failure is going to occur inevitably. Some people say there is no fail, there's only succeed or learn. So welcome failure. Run a failure workshop. I've got a whole blog on that. Positivity, often people focus on what's gone wrong, but you need to balance it to have a positive growth mindset as well. So make sure as a facilitator, you're getting that balance in. And then the retro on a high, so everyone goes away feeling good. Maybe read that kudos board, or maybe you've had a section about what went really well, and that's the last thing that you cover in your retro. I'll click. You must have actions. I talked about actions, not venting. Otherwise, there won't be any change. Limit it to 3 actions, the 3 most important things as decided by the team. If you try and do loads, you're never going to be able to do loads. Improvement occurs best when it is small and often. And you can, if you have 20 actions, you're never going to achieve them. 3 are achievable. And next month, you'll pick the 3 most important at that time, which could be very different to what they were a month earlier. Make sure that you're being accountable for doing those actions outside of the retro, whether it's putting it on your Jira board or putting it somewhere else or however you want to do it. Make sure it happens. Next section, keep it fresh. Change up your retro. If you ask the same questions, you're going to get the same answers. You're not going to discover new issues. There's loads of templates for different websites. Do it this way, do it that way. Have a superhero retro or a Christmas retro or whatever. These guys on LinkedIn are really good. Stephen Sampson Jones, Dave Westgarth, and Chris Stone. Absolutely love them. They're constantly putting brilliant creative ideas for retros. Like, for example, Valentine's Day one. That's a really simple one. Or a failure workshop I mentioned before. Where have you gone wrong and what have you learned from it? Or a framework like the Spotify framework forces you to consider a number of things. And it might be one of those things the team never mentions. But now they have to consider it. And maybe it is something they want to do. Lean Coffee is another great tool. It's really relaxed and easy. Perhaps for a team that's struggling and just wants a nice, easier way of doing things. A futurospective about what the future looks like, not just about what the past is like, what could go wrong, or where you might be if success in the future. The 6 thinking hats, you know, the good one, the bad one, the negative person, the creative person. Different perspectives generate different ideas. The rolling retro isn't a meeting at all. It's every day or every hour or whatever, people contribute something as it goes along. So you get that feedback as you go. Don't wait for a meeting at the end of the month or end of the fortnight or something. This isn't about team at all. Do a personal retro about you. How are you? Get feedback from other people and consider all those things that you'd normally consider. If you read one book, this is the book, the 2nd edition of Agile Retrospectives by Esther Darby and co. It's brilliant. It covers things in such a brilliant level of detail. So helpful and such an easy read as well. Get it. If you're more experienced and you want to tune your retros, this is great. I really like this actually. Retrospective Anti-Patterns by someone who's been working as a Scrum Master for many years. And if you want to sharpen your facilitating skills, this is the daddy of all books. It's a bit pricey, but everything is in there. Get to the end. If your retro's not working, retro your retro. We have a way of improving things that aren't working. It's a retro. So retro the retro. One way of doing that on a regular basis is just asking a checkout question each retro. Like, how could this retro have been better? And you get continuous improvement on your retro. If people aren't turning up or they're not being honest, that's a retro in itself. As to why aren't they happening, how you get them to attend, that's another matter. The worst one, I think, is also the team that goes, we don't need to improve, we don't need to do that. They definitely need it the most. They don't have a growth mindset. And in the modern digital world, if you aren't moving forward, then you are falling behind. Esther Darby, the guru on this, are retros effective? They have to be effective. Your teams have to be better. And if they're not, change your retro. And if you thought 100 was an awful lot of tips, then, and you couldn't possibly absorb all of that, you can watch the video, watch it back monthly. We are going to put these on a SharePoint site that's launching soon at the end of the month. And then watch this back and then just go, oh, that's a good one. I'll add this month and add that next month. 100 minutes, 18 minutes. Apologies for the time. Thank you all for attending. And I've been Barry Traish from DWP. Goodbye.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.